And joining us in the DirecTV 4K College Football Report is a man who's calling a huge game in the Big Ten, perhaps the biggest game in the Big Ten this year, with all due respect to Wisconsin fans. Penn State at Ohio State, 3:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Welcome to the Rich Eisen Show, Gus Johnson. How you doing, Gus?
Richie Rich, what's up, big fella?
It has been it's been too long since we've chatted, Gus.
You don't love me anymore, man. I'm not big enough for your show.
False.
You know? I mean,
false.
Golly gee.
That is fake news, Gus Johnson. Hashtag it.
Hey, fake news is part of our world today, bud. So we're allowed to use it.
So what do you have for me in Columbus? Did you just chat with the coaches? Where are you in your preparation so far for tomorrow?
We just left the coaches at Ohio State, and we talked to Urban and Craig Schiano, all the coaches there, Larry Johnson, one thing, and as you remember, as you know, Rich, when a big game is getting ready to take place, there is a beautiful paranoia that teams have, and they were fully engaged in the paranoia in terms of everything was on lockdown at Ohio State. I mean, is on lockdown at Ohio State. We normally get a chance to talk to the coach for, 30 to 45 minutes. He was like, listen, you got 5 minutes and you're out of my office. So we had a good 5 minutes with Coach Meyer. He chucked us. Then we talked to both the offensive and defensive coordinators and Coach Johnson, the assistant head coach, and they pretty much kicked us out pretty fast. So.
Well, I mean, this is it. I mean, right? I mean, certainly after what Penn State did to Michigan last week, just tore them limb from limb in the same way that Michigan did to Penn State last year. They are absolutely settling old scores, and Ohio State has won against Penn State last year for sure. So what do you think Penn State's mindset is coming into this game, Gus?
Well, we're getting ready to go talk to Coach Franklin and his staff. As soon as I get off the phone with you, we're going to go drive over to their hotel. It's about a 20, 25-minute drive. So we don't know as of yet, but I know you're a Wolverine. So you saw that game last week, and Penn State came out and played, one of their best games of the season. And I think that being the number 2 team in the nation and looking at what they have on tape, I think they're fully ready, prepared, and confident about this game against Ohio State, even though it's on the road. And I feel that they think they can come out of this thing victorious and get back to Happy Valley in even better shape.
Gus Johnson, who's calling Ohio State, Penn State, joining me here from Columbus, Ohio on the Rich Eisen Show. That number 26 jumps off of film, doesn't he, Gus?
Ooh.
He's awesome.
Rich. This kid, man, this kid is Saquon Barkley is who he's talking about, folks. Number 26 for Penn State, their star running back, and he is just phenomenal. And Ohio State's really worried about him. I mean, really, really, really worried about him. He's a Heisman Trophy candidate, and if he has a big game tomorrow, he could seal the deal for himself. Who knows? But just a spectacular talent, spectacular kid, and this is why we watch, because we want to see the best players play against each other, the best teams play against each other, and we're going to get an opportunity to see that tomorrow.
Penn State against Ohio State again, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on Fox at the Horseshoe, where again you've already called a game this year. Who's the best team you've seen personally eyeballed so far this year, Gus?
No, Ohio State. Ohio State's the best team I've seen. I mean, I had USC early, and I thought that they had a chance to be really good, but injuries, I think, hurt them so much, and they're not the same team as I saw earlier in the season. But this Ohio State team, in all phases of the game, especially on offense and defense, they got some shaky special teams this year. But we'll see. It looks like that's something that they can correct. But, offensively and defensively, I think J.T. Barrett is starting to really play some incredible football. And I think a big game by J.T. tomorrow, and he'll get it. He'll really start to turn a lot of heads for the Heisman Trophy. But they have this new passing attack, this new offensive scheme, and they're doing a lot of underneath routes, mesh routes they call it, and stuff like that. And I think they've tailored it to JT's strengths, and I think it's going to allow them to hit the deep ball later on during the season, maybe even tomorrow. So, and defensively, I mean, their D line is just awesome with Hubbard and guys like Nick Bosa and Chase Young. I mean, I think they have maybe the best defensive line in the nation, and it could cause some problems for Penn State. So, their place is going to be rocking. We're going to see.
Gus Johnson joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show and the DirecTV 4K College Football Report. All right, Gus, I want to get into some of the stuff I've been dying to ask you for a long time. Did you make a deal with somebody years ago that every single game you call either comes down to the last second or has something crazy happening? What do you got for me, Gus? What happened years ago?
Well, I try to stay prayed up, Rich. So I think me and the big man upstairs, he understands my heart, and he understands that I want to be the conduit between him and the message he wants to get out to the people. And I've been very blessed and very fortunate. That's a prayer I always say before every game. I said, Lord, please allow me to be a conduit between you and the message you want to get out to the masses. So I can't explain it, man. I just can't. And I'm not going to try to explain it. I'm happy about it. I don't want to jinx it. But I have been a part, right? I have been a part of some, sometimes I look back and I just say, wow. This is amazing. I don't even know if I have any more gas for it. I just turned 50, Rich. I'm 50, man. So.
Gus, it's just a number. Come on now. Yeah. That's a number.
You know what hey, Rich, are you 50 yet?
I'm 48.
Okay. You know what they say about a black man that makes it 50, right?
No. What does that mean? No.
They say, he doing good.
Gus, I got to tell you, who would say something like that to me if he was around still? You know what I'm talking about, right? Stu.
Who? Stu? Yeah, Stu. That was my man. That was all of our boy. He's our boy, man.
I know.
Man, he was. I talked to him at the Super Bowl when the Super Bowl was in New York. If I ever do write a book, there'll be a part of the book that I'll dedicate to him and that conversation that I had. And I was sitting there talking to him. It was late at night. He had his lady with him. And I said, man, I don't know why I asked this question. It's probably inappropriate. I said, man, when you go to sleep at night, do you worry that you might not wake up? And he says, yeah, I do, every night. And the reason that I worry that I might not wake up is because I worry that I won't be able to see my daughters get married. I might not be able to see the little things in life that we all know is so important when it comes to the people that we love. And I'll never forgot that, man. He was strong and to the end. He was positive. He was hopeful. Man, what a great person, great human being.
Right back at you, Gus. I mean, he loved you. He really enjoyed watching you, and the lines that would just come out of your mouth and your skull for big moments like that. He did love you, and I speak for a lot of sports fans. We miss you doing college hoops, Gus. Do you miss it?
Oh man, come on. I miss it like I would miss not breathing. It was that big a part of my life. Mm-hmm. And
well, obviously, I meant March Madness is what I meant. I know you're doing college hoops with Fox,
but the NCAA tournament. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like I said, I miss it like you would miss not breathing. But we grow, we change, we have to do things sometimes to make sure that we secure the future for our families. So. We have to sometimes make tough decisions, maybe not the decision that we want to make at that time, but the decision that is the right decision for you as you try to, as Hank Strand would say, matriculate down the field of life. So, yeah, man, I miss it a lot. I wish I could still be a part of it, but, right now that's not the deal. And I root and watch the tournament like a fan, and I'm satisfied with that for right now.
So, again, you're just 50, though. Lots of time, lots of Gus. You never know. Crazier things have happened in this world, this TV world, right?
Hey, UCLA was down by 40, came back and won.
Yes. And who called that game, Gus? Who called that game?
Some dude from the west side of Detroit. That would be me. It is I.
It's Gus Johnson games. That's why we call them Gus Johnson games. That's why it's called that, man.
That's so cool, man. That is so cool.
Right back at you, Gus.
Cool. Yeah, man.
Let's make this a regular once every once in a while. You call into the show.
You know, if I know I got to call the biggest game in the college football season for you to call me. You know, I'm being very passive aggressive now. I'm learning how to do that well. So, if you feel like if you don't have anybody else, to put on, you can always call me, Rich, and I'll do whatever you need, man. We go back a long way.
Yes, we do, Gus. Have a great broadcast tomorrow. I will be watching, and we will be chatting again very soon. Okay.
Okay, baby, man.
You got it. That's Gus Johnson, one and only. Man, he is just awesome. That guy knows only one speed. Gus Johnson.
For more Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Rich Eisen Show app.